In this lonely ass world, it's getting colder. I'm not going nowhere if I cannot take my boat there. My mind was bred a little different, yeah, from my own past. If I see heat, why the fuck would I wanna go there? Mama, I make you smile. Mama, your little nigga came from wildin'. Mama, always got in trouble, I was shouted. Mama, now I'm staring at shit. Mama, I'm the pilot. Mama, if I want something, I'ma go get it. Mama, swim with the sharks, piranhas, and fishes. Mama, it's so hard down here, God is my witness. Mama, I know where I'm going. Mama, I'm a fan. It's hard not knowing who is really gonna be there for me. I wish you could be here to see me the day I start touring. Shit be on my mind every second when I'm not recording. I'm waking up conversating with the Lord every morning. I mistakenly took the wrong path, I had to rewind. I fumbled trying to move too fast, I had to keep trying. Growing up, I got in trouble, told myself to keep lying. So much stress be building up, swear I be needing me time.
Good morning to the DMV and the rest of the world. Good morning. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good today? This is me, Reese, AM Morning, a.k.a. Althea McFarland, a.k.a. the best that ever did it. This is Wellness Wednesday, and I want to tell y'all, man, I love you and I salute you. So today we're going to be talking about men's mental health. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? Of course, I'm not here by myself. I got my men in the studio. Right now, I got my brother, Molly Mall, the super producer.
Yeah.
And I got my good friend, brother, Hakeem.
Yes. How everybody doing?
I got a special treat for y'all today. Guess who's in the studio with me? My mentor.
Who is that?
Got Weezy in there. That's who on there. Tell her go ahead sit down.
Great day.
We get a double delight this morning. We get a double delight today, huh?
I get the swirl, vanilla, and what's that?
Yeah, that's
chocolate. Or you caramel. That's caramel. Caramel. Vanilla with caramel on top.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. If Michelle was here,
you like French vanilla.
That's
French vanilla.
That's mocha and mocha latte.
Don't be hating.
Mocha and mocha latte. Can they hear you okay?
That's right.
Weezer okay?
With extra caramel drizzle.
Oh, okay.
With extra caramel drizzle. Okay. All righty, y'all. Well, today, of course, I say that all month in June that I must salute and celebrate my men because I love my men, especially Black men. Love everybody, but especially our Black men. And I believe they deserve the salute. You think they deserve the salute? So today on the Morning Mac Show, we're talking about men mental wellness. You know, because I know you guys, people don't believe this, what I'm about to say, but men and women don't think alike. For some people say, oh, they do, men this, men that, but men and women do not think alike. And
if they say that means they don't think, because we have similarities, but we do not process the same. So definitely.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, I want my men to come in and talk about their challenges and what they go through. Because you always tell a man, I remember hearing as a little girl growing up, when a boy hurt themselves, whatever, man up. But what does man up mean? Because they don't they don't hit a little girl in the chest and say, woman up, woman up. They always do that to men. So you can tell right there that men and women carry different burdens, you know, and different stress levels. And men need to be heard too. What do you think about that, Brother Marley?
Yeah, I like it. I think there's some men I heard, you know, just some women out here, they get programmed to be how they are. They raised that way. They probably seen their moms talk to their boyfriends or father like that, so they gonna do the same. But for me, I always thought that men and women are different, but I think together we hold, you know, like they're the opposite, you know. So at the end of the day, we need each other, you know, to create. So without each other, we can't even create. We won't be here if it wasn't for a man and female. So we definitely should think different. But at the end of the day, we should always come up with a plan together. But you got a lot of women out here that speak for men. Men ain't this. Men always do this. All men say is this. This why men do this. So it contradicts itself. It's like women would say women think differently, but at the same time they speak for men. So it's like it don't work both ways. So if you feel that way, you should never speak for men. You know, you should let a man speak for himself. And if you don't, that understand why you out here saying men should be doing this. As a man, you supposed to be doing this. As a man, men don't supposed to speak like that. Men supposed to talk. Like, how do you know all this shit? You know, just like that's the thing that get to me. What's your thoughts on that, Hakeem? How you feel about it?
Well, we are different, and we're supposed to be different. That what makes the relationship. That what makes the marriage. That what makes the conversation. You know, it's never supposed to be. You know, women receive and they life givers. You know what I'm saying? Men, we givers, and on top of giving, we hunters. See, by nature. So, like you said, Marty, that we got to be able to work together. You know. Now the question is, do women know that their capability and where they at, far as the role they play? Because the women play a very peculiar role because they the one is the garment over the household, over the children, over the man's life. You know what I'm saying? The man got to know how to receive that gift from a woman and be able to go ahead and still be a man and go out here in the world and do man things.
A lot of times, a great deal of times, women do not know our position or the strength in our position as women.
Right.
When it comes to men and boys. A lot of times we're taught as women to kind of be selfish in a way. And it's not 100% the fault of the woman, because if you're raised that way to only consider how you feel, and if this hurts and people supposed to cater to you, and you know, you can do what you want, say what you want, act how you want, no matter what, you're protected, then what are you supposed to do? Now, if you're not taught that way, of course, you're going to act different and you're going to consider other people. But if you're not taught to consider others, you're not going to be considerate off break. Now, it is up to you as you become an adult to change that. But no, a lot of women do not know this. A lot of women don't know. And a lot of women do not consider the feelings and how men deal or what they deal with, because they've never had to think about that way.
And that's true. And I, you know, on the other hand, by me always looking up at my granddaddy, I was a granddaddy's a little girl, and having a son of my very own, I think differently than most women, you know. And I'm trying to gear my man, my son's not my man, but I'm trying to gear my son to be a good man, to be he can tap into all of his emotions and feelings. I don't hit him in the chest, boom, man up, you're a human. And I try to teach him the human nature. Of course he's manly. He somehow he's masculine. I didn't teach him masculinity because I don't think I'm masculine, but some people say I am. But a man is the man, and he knew his role and he stepped into it. And I don't know if it's because he hear other men or other men that's in his life how he stepped into his role. But sometimes I'm a nitpicking mother. Sometimes I'm on him. Tyree, do this. Tyree, do that. But he is, to me, he's an average male where he stepped up in his role as a protector and a provider. And I'm his mama. And when he said, Mom, we got this. So I had to learn to let my son lead as a man. It was very hard for me to do. And I'm still there in the back, just in case he be going over to the side a little bit. Just like you teaching your kid how to drive. Okay, straighten the wheel up. Okay, you doing good. You doing fine. And when he go over to the gravel, whoa, you coming over here a little bit. I'm just there as guidance now. I'm not driving no more. And he told me, kind of explained that to me. And I turned it over to him, as much as I'm going to turn over to him. I'm working on it. I'm still working on it. You know what I mean?
And you know why that men tell the boy, hey, toughen up, man. Go ahead, stop all that crime. Because we got to be the protector. They got to be built as a protector and not get all grown and then don't know how to protect and don't know how to be a man. Because see, one thing about a man, he's going to get, especially the black man, everything that the world can throw at him is going to be thrown at him regardless. I don't care who, what, when, but the black man going to go through some things in this world and try to stop him being a leader and a man. See, society's job is to stop the black man to evolve into the great man that he's supposed to be. It's all designed. So as like my son, I tell him in a minute, man, stop all that crying, and I will tell you his mother messed him up. I tell you because he whines at 33. I said, bro, don't know, man, don't do that. But I know where you got it from. You got it from your mother. He don't like me saying that. But the truth is the matter. Because boys cling to the mother, daughters cling to the father. So we got to be careful how we teaching them. Like my daughter, she tough. She 8 years old, she tough. Pretty as a button, but tough as a boy. You hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's because she's daddy's baby. She gonna mimic everything that daddy's doing because she love her daddy. So at a young age, and this is why I say this, at a young age, the daughter's already picking what type of man that she's gonna be involved with through the father. Mm-hmm. Vice versa for the son to the mother. Mm-hmm. We just gotta be careful to make sure we give them the proper education as they grow.
Well, we got a video I want to share with y'all. Actually, we got 3 videos today. Let's see if we could get into them.
And Slicky, hey Slicky.
Hey Slicky. I'm gonna try to cultivate and see if I can gather up the rest of my views.
To feel loved and accepted when they want to feel capable and powerful. And the problem that we had there was that you were treating male depression and male mental health like female depression.
I had a brilliant upbringing. I've got great parents, great grandparents. And then I think about the lessons that my dad taught me. There's 2 things that really stand out. Once I rode my bike over my neighbour's lawn and he grabbed me around the scruff of the neck and he said, you respect other people's property. You never do that again. You go and apologise. That for me was the male role model, was be tough, be strong, be respectful. There's another one, and I remember when I'd done something wrong and I was so upset, and he just sat there and he went, what are you going to do about it? And that feeling of, Ben, you have to be strong, you have to take control of the situation, things have to be much more tangible. What are you going to do about it? I don't want someone just to sit there and stroke my ego and tell me that everything's going to be okay and I'm okay the way I am, because I think that over a prolonged period of time can definitely lead to entitlement, and I don't think it's the right thing in the long term.
Now, albeit white men and black men have some same problems, and then they have different problems. They're the same up to a certain extent, and then it differs when it comes to privilege. Would you say that?
Yeah, the men have hardships, period, but then it separates, like you said. Because again, white men have privilege. Not saying they don't have a hard life, but they have privilege. So there's a little leeway there. Black men or indigenous men do not have that same privilege. And even if they are born into a wealthy, well-off family, there is still some struggle there. There's still struggle there.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I want to get back on what Hakeem was saying as far as the daughters and the sons. Now, boys and girls can be raised by the same two parents. Two-parent household, or even if it's not a two-parent household, two parents that work together to take care of the children. The daughters, again, automatically go to the fathers because they're usually daddy girls, and the boys usually go to the mothers. The reason why that is, and we talked about this on both sides of the coin, because Prince Ella, the queen maker, brought this up in a interview she did on another show. I forgot the name of the show. But men implant their DNA in the women because we are the receivers. So it automatically makes us have a soft spot for boys. Of course, we love our daughters and we have a soft spot for our daughters, but mothers and daughters tend to clash a lot. And it's not intentional. It's not that. Now, some mothers are terrible. I'm not going to lie. And they do push their daughters away. Some of them are terrible. They push their daughters away. They push their sons away. They mistreat them, or they baby these sons and make the daughters super independent. But the mothers who treat both their children the same, that love on their children, the daughters will always eventually push away from their mothers. Just like the sons. The sons, no matter how much their father love on them, will eventually push away from their fathers. It's not because they weren't raised right. It's not because love wasn't poured into them. It's because of how it's supposed to be. A daughter is supposed to learn from her mother. She's supposed to get love from her mother. And eventually she goes on to take what she learned in that love to a new household. Sons get the teacher from their father, show them the way. Their father shows them the way, they love them, and they take that to go to another woman. They bring another woman in. The sons look for the woman that their mother is, or they look for the woman that their mother was not to them. Daughters do the same. They look for what their father is, or they look for what their father was not to them. It's an interesting thing with that. But let's get back on the men. So I was online and looking up and going with the video you just showed. Hey, Trey.
Hey, y'all. What's up?
Looking at,
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much. What's up? What's up, Molly?
Listening to the video.
What's up, Trey?
Not much.
Yeah, echo from some.
What happened?
I'm hearing echo. You hear the echo?
Probably means it's the newest one, so I'll just close it out and come back in.
Okay.
Make sure. Yeah, that was Trey. He'd come back.
Oh, okay.
That was Trey.
Yeah. Well, the video is talking about how he wouldn't want someone to tell him that everything's gonna be okay, and he wants it hard, but you don't always have to have it hard. And that's coming from me as a woman. You can have it hard, but even men tell other men, dog, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be cool. Why wouldn't you want to hear that? And the thing, that's where the misconception comes from. You don't always have to be punch hard on a boy.
And that's how women feel. That's how you supposed to feel as a mother. But for us men, we ain't trying to hear that shit, because when our young boys go out in the world, nobody gonna pamper them up. Ain't nobody gonna be in a job.
Exactly.
I know. I'm not saying pamper them.
I'm saying why we do this. I'm telling you why we do this. I ain't saying you should pamper them up and this and that. I'm saying we tough on our boys because we know the world is gonna be tough on them. So if you,
why aren't you tough on your girls?
Oh, I'm tough on her too. I look at
it.
Yeah,
tough on our girl.
That's a perception from white people.
We tough on our girls.
But I'm tough on her probably just as much. We don't let our daughters do as much as our boys. So we get caught up with the physical and the spiritual. We be too much on our girls when it comes to the spirit. We don't try to let them wear certain things, go out to certain part. What time you getting in the house? But our boys is like, nigga, what you doing? You haven't, it's more like you feel more free. You feel like he can protect himself, you know, a little more. So at the end of the day, though, I get both parts, but from what he's saying is his father grabbed him by the collar, like yanked him up with aggression. And that's what you're supposed to do. You know, like you let your son know, like, because boys gonna test you. I don't care. That's why they getting that crack, because the boy gonna let this father know, like, nigga, I might can beat you now. He gonna try him one day or another. So you gotta install this early, because if you don't, things can happen. But I see a lot of women like, he too tough on that boy. He did it. But whenever you talk,
we don't feel that way anyway.
When they get older, they be like, man, I'm happy my father was tough on me. The ones that wasn't that tough on them, they around here getting pushed around. They still looking for people to help them on there, and they just give up on things. They quit, you know. But most people that's tough on their kids and stuff early on, they're the ones that just keep trying. Like they know, like, it's gonna be tough. It get hard sometimes. But for the ones that don't get that push, whenever they go through something, they look for mommy to help them or daddy to help them out, and they can be in their 30s, 40s now. It's like, nigga, you grown.
Some people in their 50s, whatever.
Yeah,
you can help them so long.
You gotta put the titty out their mouth. What up, Trey? Say something.
Exactly. What's up? I should be clear now. I done closed it out.
You sound better now. You sound better now. But see, so I'm not saying, what I'm saying to you is, and it's us, and we have to be tough on our daughters too. Now, y'all gonna be tough to an extent because it's your daughter. Daughters know how to pull them daddy's heartstrings. Just like boys do too, to their mother.
But I was told, and I asked my grandfather, because he got 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, right? And I asked them, because my uncles, they were telling me that they was able to get paper routes work. They were going to walk into the pool by themselves, doing stuff by themselves, where that they wouldn't let my mother or my aunt do. And my grandfather says because his sons would go out and come back. Then he said his daughters would go out and come back with a baby. So is that saying that it's you know?
But the thing is, his sons will come back and leave a baby. So
but
this is what I'm saying.
Right. But see, we got to understand that the woman don't know how to be a man. No. That's why the man the woman had to let the man be the man towards that boy. And what Marley said is facts. We got to understand that boy is a prince. I'm a king. As he get older, he turns into king, but he can't have my kingdom. He got to get his own kingdom.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? So the toughness on him, that's us letting him know the world is tough. I done went through this world. I've been on this earth for 58 years. Son, you don't even have a clue the jobs and the stuff I had to take just to get to where I'm at. So we have to put that on our sons, especially black young boys, to show them that it's not going to be easy. We got to work hard, and we got to work much harder, just as harder than any other race out here, because we don't have the privilege. We don't have the luxury of things coming to us. We got to get it. And being tough on that boy, if we tough on that boy in our household, he's gonna be prepared for the world when that toughness comes. To, I ain't got none of them. My daddy, he done already put that fear in me. I done dealt with that with him, so I can move forward.
Well, that's true.
I can knock this wall down.
That's true.
You know, and with the girls bring the love to the father, basically.
And that's what boys do.
The daughters show the fathers how to love and what pure love is. When that daughter, every time my daughter see me, she jump in my arms. She 8 years old. I don't know when I get 90 how that's gonna work. But she love her father, and they teach us love. So the daughters give us the balance that we need. The boys, we gonna always be like this.
Yeah, but you know what? This is okay. I agree with everything y'all saying, because you're absolutely right. The thing is, you shouldn't have to have your fist up with a little boy. You should be able to allow him to bring love to you too. Children have unconditional love. So if you
no,
I know, but listen though, because this is what my issue is. I understand as a father, you got to be hard because this world ain't shit. Let me just say that. But you also can show your son a softer side of yourself. Not saying that for him to take advantage but he has to know you have duality. Just like daughters have to know they have duality. There are parts of you that you need to be able to tap into. And this part of you outside this house is what you got to be. Inside the house, this is how you need to be. Y'all don't show them that. Y'all don't show them that.
See, that's what I'm saying. You speaking for men who don't show them that. Why you assume men don't show them that? Who
right? That's what I'm about to say.
Just
man, why do you think men don't show them?
We always
because a lot of men.
It's not the way y'all think it's supposed to be.
When you go home, do you leave your work at work, and or do you bring it home? Women,
you bring it home. You bring that shit home
because you don't know how to separate it. Because you feel you gotta be hard. You got to be hard at home. You got to be hard at work. You got to be hard out in the streets. This is what I'm saying. You have to be able. A lot of men.
So men don't take their kids to church. Do men take their kids to church? They boys to church. You telling me they hard on them at church? They hard on them at Chuck E. Cheese. When they go there, they go. That's what y'all miss it. Whenever y'all see a man hard on his child, because he did something. He fucked up. He not just walking in the house and just like, hey, come here, boy. But y'all get that perception. Whenever a man disciplines his son,
hold on.
He don't give him love. Now I just want to know where that perception be coming from, because whenever men tough on their sons, they be like, this what the problem is. They don't supposed to always. That's not always the case. We show our kids love. We hug them. Some men kiss their sons. Kiss them in the lips. Right. I find that weird. They show them love, but when
that's weird.
You gotta show them discipline. You gotta really show them it's different than the girls. You gotta let these boys know, like, I ain't to be played with, or your mother's not to be disrespected. You don't talk to women like that. Yeah. But you got some people, it's okay, don't get up. But when you constantly do that, you drawing a wedge. That's why anytime my child mother and us discipline our daughter, I can feel like she wrong. I don't step in. I wait till she say, and then I move her to the side and say, look, man, I don't think you should have da. Because when kids see that, they know they can cause division. And that's what we tend to have with mothers. They think that this how fathers treat their sons all the time. No, we treat them like this when it's time to. Because when mothers ain't got the father in the house, when they let that boy get away with so much, and now when it's time for you to discipline him and he start pushing you around, now you calling the father. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He been trying to beat his ass, but you kept saying, you ain't putting your hands on my son. Yeah, that's what it takes. But that don't mean the father don't love his child, don't show him love and compassion because he disciplined him at a time when it's time and needed. That's
okay, but hold on, Molly. That's not what I said.
Oh, that's how it registered.
Okay, well, then tell me that's okay. That's not what I was saying. Because listen. I grew up around a lot of men. There were not many girls. I was the oldest girl and had to wait for a while for some girls to come around. So I grew up around a lot of men. I saw a lot of things. And I still see a lot of things because I have a lot of male friends. I'm not saying that men don't love their children because they do. What I'm saying is, even in the household, because I was married too, to a man. So I'm not coming from a place where I don't know. There are a lot of men, even my ex-husband loves our children. He loves our sons, but he did not know how to fully cut off the toughness when it was time to cut it off. You know, again, you can't step in, like you said, it'll cause division and they know how to manipulate and work both sides. I've seen that too. But then there's a time, like you said, you got to pull the other parent to the side. Hey, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah. You got
this thing, and this is a conversation, but I'm gonna have to find it, but this is a conversation that has been had for years about men shutting the outside off and coming home and being soft. Or you gotta be tough when you gotta be tough. That's just like if a woman came home and had all that attitude, all that smart mouth, was rough all the time like this, you'll have a problem with it, wouldn't you? Yes, because you honestly believe that a woman.
Saying, I don't want to misregister. You saying this happened all the time. I was just telling you. You was saying this happened. You said that's not what you're saying.
Do that. Not all men are able to differentiate and show duality to their boys. Just like not all women are able to separate and show duality to their girls. We have more hard girls out here because their mother only shows them the hard side of women. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then they show that softer side to their boys. And there are a lot of boys out here that are so hard because they weren't shown that you have to be able to have that other side. I'm not saying men don't love. That's not saying anything about love.
That's the thing. The deception is y'all speak on things
Right.
that y'all saying now. Let's say them kids you talking about. It's 8 of us, and we only got 2 sisters. So they grew up around a lot of boys. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is y'all assume that when these kids get disciplined or they go out there and they showing anger, this how they is all the time. Most of the kids that I know that's locked up for murder and locked up for robberies, these were some of the happiest kids. They always laughing. It just when it come time to certain things, they make bad decisions. But this not them 24/7. They not just out here angry all the time. Y'all assume that because when y'all see them, they put on his face. They doing that. That's a defense mechanism. For if they don't know a nigga, they let them know, don't play with me. But at the end of the day, when they around their friends, they laughing, they joking, they on Instagram posting stuff, dancing, doing. They happy kids, they happy teenagers. They just around certain people, they show attitude. But that's not them 24/7. That's like when I saying you mad or pissed off, I just assume this you all the time. This how you act all the time. And people got to get out of that assumption. Just because you see kids at their worst moment, don't mean it's them all the time.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And you are absolutely correct. I'm coming from okay. How about
let's take a break from this conversation and read.
It's misconstrued, and I'm not trying to make it.
I got 2 more videos, and I want to get to the people comments. Okay. Molly, before we go to the video, can we read the people comments?
We got a lot of comments.
Sticky said, "Reese, I'm here. Don't send it to me." In New York, NY Playboy said, "Hakeem, hold on." Oh shit! You done lost it. Hakeem, speaking facts. My baby sister is the same. She don't shit from no man, and she's 29. She's my father's twin. He also said some mothers are jealous of their daughters. They stole their beauty or waste their youth. I've heard and seen it all.
I've seen that before.
Katina said, "I think it's more important to be what they say mentally
strong than physically strong."
Yeah, mentally strong than physically strong. Okay. Yeah. She also said if people start instilling values in children early, they will be more likely to follow your rules without pushing back. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Because I was instilled and I had some rebellion. I seen a 12-year-old girl on Facebook this morning that made me say, who's her mom and dad, way she dressed. With that, sometimes girls sneak clothes out. And a lot of times parents may not know that they did that. Katina said, what do you tell them when they ask you why they will have to have it so hard? Kenneth said everything requires balance. He also said too much of anything ain't good. That's true. Katina said black people learned whipping from slavery. Kenneth said, did y'all see what Judge Mathis said? He hears toughness where is the love.
Yeah, it was like an uncle taking in nephew that like lost his parents.
Yeah.
They was trying to get out of the area and all that.
Yeah. Katina said showing love and affection are 2 different things, I think. Slicky said, I said that. Slicky said some do. Y'all deep today. Preach. What else?
I think that was it.
Okay. Yeah, but before we go into video, Molly, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not trying to go against what you're saying.
Oh no.
What I'm saying, I'm just trying to say is we, again, like Kenneth said, it has to be balanced. It needs to be balanced. Some of us as women are totally off balance. Some men are totally off balance. And again, whether the father's in the home or not, or whether the mother's in the home or not, you have to have that duality. You have to know when to shut it off and when to cut it on. And I'm damn sure not saying that men are happiness to the children, because again, they do. You guys do. So I don't want to offend anyone when I say or bring up what I'm saying. And it's so funny that the responses are what they are, because when the shoes on the other foot, women respond the same way. Because it sounds as if you're saying everyone, and you're not saying everyone, but people get offended because it sounds like you're attacking them. And I don't want to make it
I don't never feel offended, but I just want people to get out of that like scenario of saying that like everyone. Like just
no, I never say everyone.
The people that I experienced or the people I dealt with, that'd be good. But when people start saying this is why all the little boys out here this way, or this is why that's why the kids that I encounter is like this. This is why a lot of some of the kids, You know, that's the only thing. You know, but a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
the
things
thing,
you is saying is true. You
yeah.
know, it is kids out here that need more affection and things.
And the thing, and it's the same way with women when they come against women, because women raising the kids and women raising the boys. And you always hear women ain't doing this and women ain't doing that, and it's the same thing. And a lot of times we're not. But I'm not saying all men, because it's damn sure a lot more men doing what they're supposed to do than what they're not supposed to do. So I just want to make sure I put that out there, because I know you guys get it, but everybody may not.
Well, I kind of agree or disagree with what you guys are saying. I know personally, I'm not gonna say who, but I know some men that this is a little terrible a story. This little boy grew up and he had like feminine ways, like Little Richard, and his father kept punching him, going to his body and saying, "Be hard, man up." He thought he was going to be able to beat the way this child act out of him, and he was hard on him. The boy thought his father didn't love him because he was never saying a kind word. He was all, "Stop that crying, stop that fuck. So get it, leave this alone, leave that alone." You know, he was just really hard on him. And he grew up, the boy grew up, he was gay, and his father is not speaking to him. His father said he saw it when he's coming up, but he was trying to beat it out of him. Is that showing a child love? Is that showing a child discipline?
He tried to do
was
for
he
him,
loving?
but he thought,
That's something totally different
yeah.
than what y'all putting on there. That you know, the man, a true man, a true man's fear. A true man's fear is his son telling him he like men. That's a real man, a man who loves women. If he sees the little inclination that his son might be leaning a certain way, you know, that's the most scariest thing to a father. You know, mothers, y'all take it. Let me say this, mothers, y'all take that lightly. Like, you ain't gotta do this and that. Yeah, he might have shouldn't have hit him, whatever. Maybe should have took him to where more outings what men do. Because see, I had a lot of uncles, you know, and a lot of my uncles was in the military. So every summer I used to go to Pittsburgh to my other uncle. He was the chief ranger of a recruiting base. So going with him, I go to the bars with him. I see the interacting of men, how they supposed to be. You know, as a little boy, you get, you know, you got, or girl, your mind is impressionable. So you see these strong men. Oh yeah, I won't be like that, man. He ain't taking no crap. You know what I'm saying? I got my little root beer, they drinking their beer, and I'm listening to their stories. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but the worstest thing, if my son will walk, my son 33 years old, this nigga, excuse me, if this boy tell me that he like a man, I don't know how I really don't.
But
and I'm sorry, because I'm not built like that.
It is tough. It is tough.
But if you what can you do? Nothing.
Knock him out, tell him to get on away from here.
He's the pussy boy.
He's still a man too. He's still a man.
Man, like right
now. You gonna fuck her?
No, come to you and say, "Daddy, I like girls."
You know why? Because that means they ain't taking no dick, so they gonna love that. That's what that means. A girl being gay
because if a child come to his father and say, "I like women," that's something we can talk about. If he like dick, he could talk to his mother. That's something they can relate about. I can't tell you about man. I can't tell you about dating another man or
y'all don't have to have that conversation.
But outside of that, that's what I'm saying. You brought the conversation to me. Just stop doing that. You literally said, if he said I like men, I don't want. You need to talk to your mother. She can help you on that, but it will hurt me. But I ain't got a son. You know, my daughter would hurt me if she like women. I would want my child to be with a man and have kids. But at the end of the day, I look at that as mental illness. You know, that's what a lot of things. I don't blame them for it. You know, I look deep into it. My nephew was born in the same house with us, around the same men as us, getting his ass whooped, bullied, man, out in the house, and he still turned out to be gay. You know, like he ain't no like flamboyant, but he like men. My niece, she like girls. You know, so it's just like it just I don't know how it be happening, but I think it got a lot to do with these vaccines early on in childhood. But early on, this used to be called mental health. And there's places that they used to take these kids, and a lot of these kids come back not gay no more. In China, they got medicine, they got classes that they sending gay people there to test it out, and they coming back straight. It's people they like, man, you got me messed up. I'm gay for life.
But you
and
know
they coming back like straight men. So I don't know.
They used to do a lot of
sometimes
possible
to them. That's why they would come
No,
back
no.
straight.
That would be amazing if that's
You said what now?
possible.
I said back then
You said
would
they come back straight?
to these hospitals, and they would do a lot of traumatic things to them for them to come back straight.
Like
The thing
MK
is,
Ultra.
But they didn't do all of them like that.
sometimes, you know, all this is a lot of it. Look, we ain't even about to go too deep in that.
Well,
But I get you, Molly. You know, the thing is, you still can't not love your child.
Yeah, it's you.
That's
That's
the
your
only thing.
child. That's you.
On
That's
a mental aspect of things.
Nah, if my son gay, that ain't me.
But you don't say
That's
that
you.
because
That's you.
That's not me.
but that don't mean
that drip in you.
that you did. A lot of times these children are confused. Okay,
Yeah.
what's out here now is a bunch of confusion, and taking them. They was confused back then. They didn't know, and going to hospital it helps some people see clearly, and it helps some people to say, "This is what I am. That's what I am." They're not on the fence, straddling the line anymore. And a lot of confusion comes from traumatic, something that happened that make you confused or make you think this way. Like your first sexual experience, whether wanted it or not, if you're touched in a certain way, and that's what you're going to relate sex to. If you're assaulted, that's what you're going to relate it to or assault. A lot of this.
Y'all adding a whole nother thing to it.
No, I'm saying we talking about
y'all talking about being assaulted. We just talking straight out somebody just.
She used an example.
I'm choosing an example of the mental health capacity. Some people, some men say they this way and some men say that way. Some people are confused and they just need clarity.
They know they.
You know why? You know why people
men,
confused?
They ain't confused. They like men. They know what they like.
Right.
That's on them. It's more
They
women
ain't confused.
Straight man. I ain't mad at them. I just don't.
They
like
just
choose kids.
And the bottom line with this homosexuality thing, they just choose to do so, and believe it or not, they think in their mind this the mental health. They think that's the easy road, and then fighting to be who you are, and that's like giving up to say, all right, you won, I'm gonna become that, instead of being in that fight to fight against that, which is wrong.
I'm gonna say this.
I don't care how you label.
Go ahead.
But I gotta love my child either way, whatever he or she.
I ain't say nothing about not loving your child. I said I would knock him out, send him away. That don't mean I don't love him.
Send him away though.
They ain't say I ain't love him. I love him from a distance now.
But you know how
wishes.
What's up, Rico?
No,
What's
but
your
look,
thoughts on this shit, Rick?
but you know what? I'm gonna say my thing, and this ain't even Friday. Ain't nothing easy about taking dick, okay? Ain't nothing easy.
Well, I know that conversation. Then you and Reese need that. I don't know about it. Don't want to know about it. That's my whole point. That's the difference between the women and the man.
You know, that's
she said it wasn't Friday. That's Louisa.
It ain't nothing easy about.
What's your thought? We ain't hear from Trey yet, man. Trey, what's your thought?
If you turn on, it's going to be easy. It's going to be pleasurable. So I don't want to hear that.
No.
You never have a penis in a vagina. So I don't want to hear that. All that you talking about.
I'm talking about for a man.
We're gonna say that for Friday. We're gonna get Trey boy. We're gonna read some comments and go to the next video, and in that order. Table that for Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Trey, what are you thinking about everything that you're hearing? What's going on? You know.
I mean, I like difference in opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know what it is with me, so that's a very apparent. Like, I'm gay. I didn't have anybody touch me or do shit to me. I'm like, I don't know. I will more so like answer questions. I don't really have an opinion on it because I know who I am, and it wasn't because nobody like
right.
did nothing to me. I don't think you're born gay. I'll say that. My first interaction was definitely females. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I would answer a question versus having something to say because I don't really have an opinion on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we talking about men's mental health too. NYC Playboy said they say it's hormones in the milk. It is.
Hormones in the food, yes.
Boys growing breasts and girls have heavy facial hair. Rico said, what up, Morning Max Show? Wishing you a healthy hump day heel. Yeah.
Man.
Okay. There is definitely something. And Molly did a piece on that. I forgot what was that stuff that they spraying in the pesticide that makes the giving the men more hormones and stuff, making that estrogen increase and stuff in the it's what they putting in this air. It's what's making them feel that way. Because what happens if you remember I did the show a couple of months ago about the experiment that they was doing on children, and they was saying that it's in their environment and stuff that will make them turn out to whatever sex was. Them two men that I mentioned, two monsters. If they taking a man like Hakeem, and I fill you with estrogen, how you think you gonna act? If your hormonal balance is off, if you're that comes from mental. Because if
they study that shit, Reed. They studied it on mice first, and it worked. And what they did was they had a bunch of male mice, and they was shooting these female hormones in them, and then the males start humping each other. But they got to the point that these male mice was able to have kids somehow, like
exactly
to that part. But they had the women in the colony too. It got to the point that the men ain't sleep with none of the women; they were just sleeping with each other in the mice colony. And then the women start killing them and eating them because they was like, what's the point? Like they start slaughtering all the male gay rats because none of them wanted to bother with them, and that's it's gonna be enough of us for anybody to be gay. It ain't like the world coming to an end. You know, it's like if we was in survival mode, then that'd be bad because we won't be able to reproduce. But they trying to find a way to let males be able to have kids because there's men out here who really want to have kids.
I don't agree. I do not agree with that.
Straight like I ain't with that.
And that's why the missing children are missing.
That's why the
kids are missing. The experiment on putting a uterus in a man.
And that's why a lot of black women are missing. So much. I mean, the ratio they jumped up all of a sudden. People of color. How come the white woman ain't missing like the people of color?
Because their numbers are low. They're trying to increase the number of white women, and they're not reproducing like we do. We reproduce accidentally or on purpose. The black, the Hispanic, we reproduce. They are not.
Yeah, that's not natural.
They forgetting it.
That's not natural.
We're made for white women. They weren't made for us. We jumped on it, but we still having babies. And the reason why they are after the black women organs, black men organs, and black women uterus is because we always have
the most valuable.
Organs. We have stronger organs. We have great cells. The melanin, everything is better. So they try to take what we have and put it in there, but you cannot implant a uterus into a man. You know, and
you know, and they're not built. We're built differently,
and and expect for it to be successful. One, because a male's body is not meant to expand. Your cervix, you don't have a damn cervix. Your pelvis is not meant to do this. This is why when men gain weight, their stomach overflows their pelvis because they are not meant to expand. Women's pelvises expand. Our organs go up into our bodies. Now, we have to develop more blood. We have to get rid of calcium, the baby sick, everything. Men were not created to do that.
Men don't have the umbilical cord and the placenta to nourish the baby.
That develops when you're pregnant. But the fact of the matter is men could not give blood to a baby because they were not created. I know that, but they were not created.
Even if it's artificial in there.
Listen, women were created to multiply. Point blank and period. We multiply blood. We multiply calcium. We multiply iron. We multiply everything to feed these children. We are.
And y'all the only one has the Y chromosome. What is chromosome?
Exactly.
Black woman.
Believe it or not, y'all were women in the beginning. Everything starts female.
The male is
but then but then you turn male. Once you turn male, the other parts of you that we have it doesn't develop. So the stuff you get from your mother stays where it's supposed to be. What you get from your father grows as a man.
Who you are, because our ovaries, when women, our ovaries stay up. When you male, the ovaries drop and turn to balls, and that's the difference. Because y'all men, y'all tell us if we're gonna be woman or man. It's the man chromosome that decides the sex. So, and we got a lot. Well, then let's see another video, Marley. This next video.
I've been saying this next video for a minute.
I want to see the one about the black man. I want drug. You can.
Which one? That video too? You saying?
Yes. Skip it. We want to skip 2 and go straight to 3. What you think?
I am, man. I'm just doing what you say, boss lady.
I ain't no boss. I am a boss. But
you're a boss.
I am a boss. I'm a Bob.
Hold on, he just put something in there. What do you say? Studs. Woman walking around with their pants down, sitting like an eye for it. Damn.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to be a man. Y'all have it hard. There are things that y'all have to deal with. Y'all not allowed to do a lot of things, and it's not fair. But and men should not strive to be women because we got problems. Y'all just need to stay on as men.
Cycles
and regardless of what your sexual preference is, be a man. Whatever your sexual preference is as a woman, be a woman.
It's the last clip for the day because this shit, this been like 4 minutes. Let me know when to stop, Reese.
Someone you trusted.
Yeah.
Like the family member who abused you.
Yeah.
Which made you feel powerless again.
Can you see?
It's cool. Let's release this.
I look at it.
Wow. When I saw that scene from Atlanta, I knew I had to talk about it on this week's Cross Connection because it's really not something we see on TV every day, and that's Black men in therapy. And of course, you may remember Kendrick Lamar's album, which dropped this summer, that also explores this very timely topic. Now, according to researchers, Black men are about half as likely to pursue counseling as their white counterparts when experiencing anxiety or depression. Well, the first step in breaking that stigma is to talk about it. And so here with me is Dr. Michael A. Lindsay. He's Dean of the NYU Silver School of Social Work. And back with us is Dr. Jason Johnson. Mike, I want to start with you. Dr. Mike, my Morehouse man on set with me. Great to have you here with me on set, seriously. And I just, I've noticed that this conversation around therapy and Black men is becoming normalized, but maybe not normalized to the extent which it needs to be. Why do you think that's happening now?
Well, I think the pandemic has certainly had an impact on how people are being in touch with their emotions and their psychology, if you will. People are being encouraged to talk about how the pandemic has impacted them. And I think it's a great thing because for so long, there's been so much stigma related to talking about these issues. And so, the time is really perfect for us to be having these conversations because so many people are hurting as a result of what has transpired in the pandemic.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Jason, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, getting all up in your biz. But seriously, have you gone to therapy before?
I have, and I actually really debated as to whether I was going to answer this question because it's not so much a fear of threatened masculinity. I just never wanted to really talk about it. But yes, I actually had a therapist. I was uncomfortable, frankly, and I felt like the world doesn't need to know. But you realize that having conversations with the other brothers in my life about their therapy journeys have been helpful. I was in therapy when I was in school because I thought, maybe I'm just stressed. Graduate school when I was getting my doctorate, because I thought, maybe I'm just stressed. But it's like, oh no, this is this is anxiety. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating well. And it was a critical part of me moving forward. And I had the rare experience, and I'd love to hear what Dr. Lindsay thinks about this. I actually had a very good experience with a white therapist. Since then, I've never interacted with a white therapist, but I had a white male therapist, so the first thing he said to me is, are you comfortable with talking to a white guy about this? Because I understand if you're not. So that's what built a really good relationship.
That makes a really good point, though, because there does seem to be a necessity for cultural competency when talking to. So when we talk about Black.
Okay, but I wanted to, this is my question to the men on the panel and the audience. Going to therapy, why is it something that Black men oppose? Is it because they don't want to tell their business, or is it because they don't feel like they need help, or is it because they done got hit in the chest so many times to say people don't care about how a man feel anyway? I care about how my men feel. So, you know, the men on the panel, that's the question.
I can be last. I mean, y'all can go. I can be last.
I'll be first. I mean, mental illness. I agree with the therapy thing, but I don't really care if you go to therapy as long as you talk to someone you know and you trust. Because therapists just strangers and they get paid to do that. You know, it's like people like this is a professional, like nigga, he get paid to do this. He don't really care. You know, like they can pretend they care, but I'd rather talk to somebody I know and I trust. Because let's say you shitted on yourself, and now you ain't gonna go around telling nigga, yeah, I shitted on myself. So you just want to tell them about traumatic things that happen in your life, and you don't mind sharing that. I just don't like talking to strangers. That's my thought on it. I mean,
Trey.
Yeah, I think mental health is always something to be conscious of. I don't think you should ever let yourself just keep piling on trauma or piling on problems or situations that you're not letting out with some type of source, whether that be, you know, bike riding, getting out, you know, going out somewhere, working out. You know, you have to release your tension some type of way. Don't let it be, you know, in the form of drinking or smoking or whatever you do. You know, just be in tune and be aware. I think that I don't know. I think with going to therapy, it's nice to have an unbiased opinion. Somebody that doesn't know anything about you, so they can't be anything but assume. You know, so I think having answers from somebody, I don't really go by the fact that you're in your head referencing that book that you studied to get your degree and all that when it comes to someone's, you know, how they express themselves or what they tell you, you know, as your client, you know. But so I don't think you necessarily need to go to somebody who had a degree or need to go to an actual therapist. Go to somebody who has something to say. There's messages everywhere from everyone. So.
Okay.
Well, mental health is basically something in your mind that's constantly bothering you or you dealing with. Something in the past, something in the future, or you're not feeling a certain way. Well, a lot of times, if I got a problem, I'm just talking about me now, and how I deal with it. You know, a lot of tragedy happened in my life. But what I've learned to exercise all that anger, whatever, I put it in my work. In other words, I always look at job, working is therapy. Anything that you're working out mentally and physically at the same time, it's a part of a release from your mind and focus on something else that is bothering me. The reason I say that is I lost my daughter last year. It'd be a year this August the 10th. It'd be a year. A year before that, I lost my brother. My birthday is in August. So I was going through a lot. I helped bury my daughter. Well, I buried my daughter by myself, and it took a toll on me. But through the knowledge that God gave me, I worked it out, whereas though I'm doing things to keep my mind off what is wrong. And that's all the therapy is going to do, is give you a solution and how to deal with it. He's not going to get in your mind and your brain, cut it out, and all this and that. The work comes from the individual to get through it. So is mental health true? Yes. Do you think is therapy always the answer? No. Now, some people might need it, but my therapy is putting it into my work. When I do that, I release all that, and then the universe give me some way of other ways to think on what's going on. So my work became on a higher level. Then that came my therapy, and it put my job on a high level to be one of the best in corporate America. So sometimes we just gotta find the avenue. If you gotta go to the gym, hit that bag. If you gotta go lift some weights, you gotta run, ride a bike. You work that out on yourself. Can't nobody help you with that. Can't nobody. That's something that's gonna be worked on. Now, I would say this, like Molly said, and like my man said, sometimes you got friends that you can just talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got like, you know, I got boys. I got boys. I got females. Like I got a whole group called a committee and the firm. So if anything bothering me, we already got a group where it's all right. What's going on? What's happening? Everybody start talking, and that's basically you got to open your mouth, start talking about what's going on with yourself. You can't hide anything, you know, because if you out here something really bothering you, it's going to show. If you don't
leave holes in it. Yeah, don't leave holes in it.
Yeah, if you don't have no control of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you need help that bad for real though, you don't have control over your mental capacity. You don't know where your mental capacity is if you need help that bad.
We're going to read some of these comments. What are these people saying on the side? Slicky said, God's the judge.
Oh,
I'm rolling.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Go ahead. He was responding. He was telling Trey that he's all good. Be who you want to be. God is the judge. Kenneth said, I support black men in therapy. Slicky said, long as you stay in your sexual lane, I don't give a damn. Michelle said, Ernest Wiggins, you're right. It's a shame, and men and women can't get along when their pants are down. You know what? Kenneth said, I only support black counselors in therapy. Amen, amen. I love therapy. Embrace your feelings. That's just my opinion. That's Michelle. Kenneth said, stigma and narrative is why some don't go. You know, DJ Slicky said, you know, Skippy, Molly. Michelle said, Molly, that's not a therapist. Mental health is a personal journey. Sometimes having an outside source, even when paying a professional, for me, is totally worth it. NYC Playboy said, we are not taught or conditioned to talk about our feelings and emotions, unlike women. Women get food and drinks and sit around and kiki, as they say, quote unquote kiki. Kenneth says, Western civilization folks can't relate with my trauma. That's true. Slicky said, let's all just get along, work it out. Kenneth says, if I didn't get therapy, I would not be the person I am today. Therapy works differently per the individual.
And Kenneth is right. I'm gonna share something. Maybe I shouldn't share something, but I had a what is it called? With my therapist, I had to see a psychologist, therapist, and a life coach. So my life coach, don't judge me. So my life coach was this first one was this white lady. You remember I told you I had to switch her out? Oh. She was white. She was from Wyoming, I think it was. And she was like oblivious to the DMV. She didn't know how things work or anything. And she was just like woosah. She was this retired hippie nurse. And I was like, lady, she said, go for a walk, go for a jog. It'll make you feel good. Go in the garden and in the back and just plant some days in your garden. I said, I live in the inner city. You know, I don't have a garden. I don't have a section of the corner of the playground where I could go and play and dig in the soil. She said, well, I know that does it for me. And then she started questioning, like, well, how's your diabetes? How's your I said, that's fine. I said, but you're supposed to be helping me with my other stuff. And she was more like of a book. She was like 1, 2, 3. She didn't have my rhythm. I would say that. She was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't do 1, 2, 3, 4. I could jump up on the 2 and get down on the 4. You know what I'm saying? And we just did not match. And I said, this is a waste of time, me talking to Sarah, because Sarah didn't have a clue about and then she's
that matters too.
Talking to me about the politics. I don't care what she is, but she was like a flower child. I was like, no, Miss Sarah, no, no, didn't do that. And it's just like, that's just not my problem, baby. That's not my problem. And I asked for another, because I need my blood. I need somebody with the same hue that was in the same fight. Sarah was in a totally different fight, and Sarah didn't understand. She was like, well, why can't you get food stamps? And I was like, because I don't qualify. No, that's just ridiculous. Go down there and apply again. And I'm like,
oh yeah, she was that attitude.
Right, it's stuff like that. Go apply again. You're just not trying hard enough.
Just drop her ass.
I don't qualify. It goes by the income. I don't do the guidelines. I don't do this. You know, she's asking me crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, and she's in Wyoming and everything's all well with the world. I said, well, bitch, you all deal with the coyotes. How you deal with how do you deal with them? You know, you walking on the paths and them damn mountain cats and lion, and you just out there. I mean, it was just, we had to separate. I felt better when I was talking to someone black. It was an African girl that took her place, but she still understood me, my plight, and everything. Even though our culture was different, but she still understood, because at the end of the day, when you see us together, you wouldn't know she was from Africa until she opened her mouth. So we were always treated the same way, even though they may not be from this country. Certain people treat us the same way, regardless, because they put us in the box of color, and then mentally we have to be. They perceive us a certain way, and they don't understand our plight mentally. What is Michelle saying?
She said, "What?" I just look at it. If you want to know about a restaurant you never been to, and you know a few people that went there already, the first thing you're gonna do is probably call them and say, "How do you like that spot?" Or you want to rent out a venue spot, then you know somebody did. Hey, how was that venue spot? Hey, how was that trip out Vegas? How was this? So it's just like, if I'm going to therapist, I can't relate to what I've been through. Like, at the end of the day, you ain't go through the trauma I went through, but you're gonna tell me how to get through it. How you gonna tell me about Vegas if you never been to Vegas? How you gonna tell me about Africa? You never been to Africa, or what you seen some shit online? And that's what people get confused. Like, oh, I seen online, look nice down there. No, until you go down there, you won't know how it really look. Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's how I look at it as therapist. It's like, I get it's a job, and sometimes it might help some people. They might got nobody to talk to. But as long as you got friends and people you can relate to, or find somebody that been through what you've been through. I think therapists should be different levels. Like, you've been sexually assaulted, it should be therapists that get into that field. Like they know jail people that been locked up and all that. I think they should be therapists. You done rehabilitated yourself into society. They should be the ones speaking to kids coming out of jail and been through, because they've been through that.
I agree.
I want people to talk to people that can relate to those people.
Exactly.
That's why in that video, that black dude said, the white guy said, "Hey, do you feel comfortable talking to me?" Because he already know, as a therapist, he'll feel even more comfortable talking to somebody of his race, not even just being a stranger. So I just never understood therapists. Like, how you gonna tell me how to get off drugs if you never been on drugs? You know, it's like, you don't know how hard this shit really is.
And I was open to have someone give me therapy that wasn't of the same color, but when she didn't understand, it's like, you never been hungry. When she told me, well, just go, why you don't get this, why you don't get that, just go and apply. I'm like, that's not how it works. She had no idea how it works, because she never had to get any help. She never had to.
I don't like the automatic assumption. I don't like the automatic assumption.
Color and culture and stuff. When she asked me, "Are you on drugs? Do you drink?" I'm like, "No."
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And
the doctor has all the time.
So let me ask y'all this. You know, it is something in place for that. A lot of people gonna say, "Ooh," but a testimony and a test and a testimony, giving your testimony of the things that you go through in life, that's already in for a mental health. Because if I say I've been through this, and I start speaking on this and talking about what I went through and what God delivered me from, the universe, and and it be the same type of thing that somebody else go through, do you think it will help their mental health?
Yeah,
of course. But then they will come
exactly
to you and ask for direction.
Huh?
They will come to you and ask for direction or how'd you do it, and that's what therapy is. You know, sometimes though, we may not necessarily be in a place to direct the other people.
That's right.
So and I like the fact that you brought up the fact of the testimony, because that's why you have your testimony. You're supposed to share it
exactly.
with other people. But if you're not in a position where you can help them, at least they know they're not alone, and you might be able to direct them to what you did. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to understand. It's things that's already been in place for us to handle that. When it comes to, I'm not taking away from, if it helps people, that's fine. Anything that helps someone, that's good. Work for the kingdom of the universe and God. But but we got to realize the colonizers put these type of things on us and put the mental health in our head. Come on now. Our ancestors been in slavery for so many years, and they went through all that so we can survive to get to the right place. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, we get into these situations about the worldly situation is based on what the colonizer think and how they want to keep us on a certain plateau, where as though we're going to always need them. We don't need nobody but the universe and God and straight belief and faith in you, because we are the kings, we are the gods of this land. We make the decisions. We keep allowing them to make the decision for us and giving us different institutes to go in. We got to stop that. We are the innovators. We the kings. We the rulers. And once we understand that, none of that can affect us. My bad.
That's the last thing I'm going to say is this.
And read that.
Let me read Michelle's comment first. She said, out there, I like going to the source and asking people about who maybe different experiences, so I can learn from that person. Sounds like your nutritionist or therapist didn't want to get to know you or emphasize with what you need. That makes me sad. But I'm going to say is there are two types or two forms of psychology. There is the Eurocentric psychology, who only focuses on the mind. And then there's the Afrocentric or indigenous psychology, who focuses on the spirit. We, as in us, have to start at the spirit, because we understand that the spirit controls every aspect of who we are.
There you go.
This is why those who do psychology that are Caucasian or white do not understand or cannot identify with Black or indigenous peoples, because they do not go to the spirit.
Because they're not from the spiritual rampart.
You have to correct the pains of the spirit in order to correct the mind. The emotional, physical, and mental aspect begins in the spirit. Michelle says, real talk today. Love hearing all your divine words. Yeah, but that's all I'm gonna say. We got to understand it. And just like Hakeem said, and he's right, but we don't know who we are. We don't know where to start within ourselves, which is why it's important to go inside and go through that process of healing, praying, meditating, whatever you got to do. Because no matter who you talk to, if you do not go within, you're still gonna be talking.
Exactly.
That part. That part. It was a great show today, man. We on fire today.
Yeah. Fire out until tomorrow, where it's Tall Tale Thursdays. This is some, you know what? This is some real shiznit. I gotta say that this is some real shiznit. Men, mental health, man. I love my Black men. I love my men. Tomorrow we're gonna tell some stories about some Black men, or inform the people about some Black men on Tall Tale Thursdays. Right, Molly?
Yeah. I don't know what you talking about though, but yeah.
don't know, but you know.
We gonna find some stories about some black men. You know,
Man, I got a story of all stories, but I don't even think I told you about this one, man. Just look up. I got a story. I ain't even going.
But tomorrow,
Flicky said, "Be safe, great, and I love y'all." Kenneth said, "Mental fiber, physical fiber, spiritual fibers are all pillars for success." And again, I would like to send a huge apology out to the men, our wonderful men, if I did not want to offend anyone. So I do apologize if I did, and I may have. So please forgive me for what we said earlier and the way it came out. Because believe me, it was not to offend or to emasculate you. I promise.
I love people that bring stuff up and clear stuff and clear the air. But she said what she said, so it still is what it is. But I'm glad that she made it clear first.
We know where the situation came at. We know where it was directed to. We understand who it was directed to.
Adults understand. Adults get it. It's okay. You know, it's all good. Adults understand. It ain't nothing. We can't talk keep it G. Then what is it? You know, what is it if we can't keep it G?
everybody, can I get a moment of silence for my baby daddy? Today is his birthday. I see his picture up there on my wall. I got his right up there on my wall. That's my baby daddy. I'm sorry.
Don't knock him down now.
You know,
it's Prince's birthday.
Everything, you know. He would be 65 years old if he was living today. He was born June 7, 1958. Yes, I like the old man. That's the old man. That's my baby daddy. You didn't get nothing. I wanted the moment of silence for a great artist, a great man. And I had the pleasure of seeing him perform. Woo, woo, woo. Baby, I'm still tingling from that show. Woo! Speaking of shows, June 17th.
June 17th, 501 Morris Street, Northeast, Union District, Oyster Bar. June 17th, $50, y'all. We got 6 comedians coming. Mike Brooks hosting the third Laughing in the Basement comedy show, hosted by Mike Brooks. We got a host of people coming out to show y'all a good time and comedy, and we're going to have Sounds of Elegance playing afterwards to get y'all groove on. So come on out next Saturday, June 17th. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Come on out and party with us.
And
okay, hi. The 17th, I have a Blue Phoenix hosting 2 tea parties. If you are interested, please contact me. Don't call me. You can contact me through Messenger, and I will let you know what's going on.
And tell them the time.
Oh, it's at 12 to 3. So you can leave my tea party and head to
the party.
And you're going to have 2 parties. The full day is good time. I'm
trying to say. And I'm trying to be at both spots. And my brother Flicky Woo Boo having a party that weekend too. And he having a 2-day party, Friday and Saturday. So I'm gonna try to go cut a rug over there. I'm gonna get my boots on, and then I'm gonna get my Jokes of Pure Elegance going on.
That's a good weekend.
That's a full weekend.
And then celebrate the Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Father's Day is next Sunday.
Is that Sunday?
Do right.
Yeah.
Do
Y'all
right.
remember. Okay.
And if your father isn't here, honor another father. If my father ain't here, I could honor Hakeem. Yeah. I could honor Marley. You know, I found I can honor AI. It's a whole bunch of other. My daddy is here. Never mind. My dad. I'm thinking of my grandfather. Because he raised me. Let me honor my father still. My father.
She still got Prince on her mind.
She remember.
Yeah,
Prince.
she thinking about that on the wall. Anime.
The year he was born and everything.
Friday, Daddy. That ain't her birthday.
Look at her.
Hi, y'all.
Everything. It didn't embarrass me from the Prince. Oh.
Oh my
We
goodness.
out, man. Same time as always tomorrow, 10:30, 11:30. Love y'all, man. See y'all in the back room, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Embarrass me in front of my baby.